The Padres have made a sneaky good move. This has some serious long-term implications for the Friars this season, potentially beyond into next season and others. Let's talk about everything going on right now. What's going on, everybody? Christian Pedersen back with another episode of Padres Digest. Thank you very much for tuning in to your source for what I am calling emotionally riding shotgun with you all Friars season long. The 2025 one has been a great one so far. There's been some bad, there's been some in between, and now there has been some trades. We got to talk about Tom Cosgrove, the left-handed pitcher being dealt from the San Diego Padres to the Chicago Cubs for cash considerations. As you see here per Samuel Levitt, the voice of the San Diego, one of the voices of the San Diego Padres. So Tom Cosgrove, gone. And I think that this has some, like, you're going to have to hear me. Like, there are some immediate implications, and then, like, maybe hear me out on the A leads to B leads to C of some dominoes falling because of this. But I think short-term and long-term, there are a lot of things that you can take away, even from smaller transactions like this. And I don't mean to say smaller transactions to diminish anybody's MLB service, career, time, or life. But Tom Cosgrove's not, like, the biggest name. He's going into the Cubs have put him in triple. It's like trying to keep this all in some relative sense of context. But here we go. The short of it is that, let me show you the numbers. Tom Cosgrove is not somebody who necessarily you need to worry about if you said to yourself, hey, I don't really entirely remember that guy. Who was that again? It's okay. You've got busy lives. That's why I'm here to be your fully fledged Padres junkie and help translate it back to you in these Cliff Notesy sort of things. Here's his numbers last 2 years, his 2 years of Major League service. 2023, he was nice. He had the feel, as we showed you with those highlights at the beginning, and we'll go back to them in just a second. He had a little funk to that release point, had a little something that made it kind of fun to have him in the arsenal. But obviously in 2024, a bit of a regression. Going into 2025, I think that for the short term of what this tells me is that good news with the Padres are, I think this means at the very least they are happy, if not outright confident, in their left-handed options that they currently have in the bullpen. And if they, there are a couple of guys on the AAA team who are left-handed pitchers, but if they felt at all that there was any sense of hey, we need to just like this isn't locked down, I think that left-handed arms just kind of have this weird, peculiar premium that people, especially ones that got a little something to the release point, that you at least say, hey, we'll hold on to him. We'll keep him in AAA. If he gets hot again, we can always toss him back up into the major. Like, if they're willing to part ways with left-handed relievers like this, to me, if nothing else, it's just a hell yeah. That's a great thing that our GM, our manager, our pitching coach, ownership, whatever you want to call it, whoever you visualize as the guy running the team, is confident in the left-handed relief pitching situation in the major leagues. And if you're confident, if you're talking about confidence in left-handed relief pitching in the major leagues, you're in a pretty good situation. So this is one of those deals where at least you sit back and you go, sweet. The Padres are not losing anything that's oh my goodness, such a crazy thing that we had to depart with this. No offense. I mean, I don't hate Tom Cosgrove, better baseball player than I will ever dream of being. Made it to the show. I did not. So I don't want to be all bitter grapes. But this is not somebody that you look at and go, wow, I am so bummed that the Padres had to get rid of him. So then you say to yourself, well, cash considerations. What does cash considerations mean? Why are we getting that back? What does that do for us? Shouldn't we have tried to go get somebody? Here is where I think you start to connect some of the different dots, and think that you see also here some of the reactions fan wise that the Cubs fans took notice of, what is this deal? Why are we doing this? This has been a guy who's gone in both directions. Do they see something or not? Are the Padres going to miss out on something or not? I think no. I think even if he goes on to have a fantastic, nice little run with the Cubs, you look at this and you go, okay, they got their money. What does the money mean? So here's where I think you got to follow a couple of steps for the dominoes to fall, and it isn't a directly A to B kind of thing. But this is where I really like this deal, and I started to say this is part A of being real sneaky with it. The Padres are done with maybe step one of the master plan, which is get good, and now they've got to stay good. Obviously, they can get better. We can rattle off a bunch of World Series championships in a row. I'm not saying that the Padres are permanently like, let's keep this roster together, and it is the best roster in baseball. But the Padres are like, they are a good baseball team. We are the first one to 10 wins in the league this season. We're top the NL West as of us recording this. Like, the Padres are a very good team, even with some of the pessimism about how good the Dodgers are. Padres are a very good team. So they've gotten good. Now they got to stay good. To stay good, they have done things like lock up Fernando Tatis, Manny Machado, and most recently Jackson Merrill. And this is where I will remind you again, hit the subscribe button, because we got videos breaking down all of this kind of stuff, including the recent Jackson Merrill contract extension signing and all of the ways that I think that is just a fleece of a deal. That is a market resetter in terms of the inverse. Market resetter is usually up here. That one is a market resetter down here for value grabs for a Major League Baseball player. Who's next? Dylan Cease, Michael King. Both of those guys are starting pitchers that I would absolutely say are worth, at the very least, heavily entertaining offers to extend them both. You say whatever you want about the Michael King extension restructuring. That's just to take a little bit of the pressure off. That's not a long-term, that's a Band-Aid. That is not a long-term fix to that solution. So these two guys, you got to extend them. But the Padres' new ownership, and again, we got videos on all of this, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, just head over to the channel. You can check out information on everything contextually, doing deeper dives than this, but just the cliff notes here. Padres' ownership changed from Seidler to Seidler, and John has said, outwardly espoused, that he wants to follow Peter's vision, and he wants to win, and spin, and build, and that's great, and that's nice, and they did on Merrill, and there are some guys, but they have also been, easy enough for me to say, sorry, I'm getting a little worked up on some of this stuff. I feel it with you. Like I said, I'm here to ride emotionally shotgun with you. That sometimes means getting a little fired up and a little pumped up, but he has also said that they want to spend money maybe a little bit more critically, is the easiest way to say it. Like, they don't want to necessarily, they have not come out and said, oh, we want to dump payroll. I'm not saying that. I'm not pleading poor, but I think that their interpretation of continuing Peter's legacy might be one tax bracket below what Peter had probably been willing to ultimately part with for himself winning a World Series. But that then kind of brings in the full loop of what are we talking about in this Tom Cosgrove deal? Cash considerations. I am not sitting in on any internal documents from the San Diego Padres, so I might be completely wrong in this, and if I am sorry. I will eat crow. Drop a comment. Let me know if you think that I am just way off basis for this, but I kind of highly doubt that the Padres needed to float some operational cash to hit payroll. I sort of don't think that the Padres had some shortage of getting all the concessions purchased or anything like that. I think that the Padres saw an opportunity to turn this stat line here into one small chunk of an installment to start building up or adding to, or whatever verb you want to say, a war chest to try and come up with the money for Cease and King. And again, drop a comment if you think I'm completely just tinfoil hat, gone off the reservation, thinking stupid here. But if you don't have $20 million just sitting there ready to be like, here's your signing bonus, let's get it to you, like in the bank, and you got to find ways to get that money there or get a competitive amount compared to that money. The $20 million's just sort of like, that's just an arbitrary, these numbers are going to be big. That has nothing to do with any actual number they need to hit. But you understand hopefully what I'm saying is that if you don't have $20 million, you can either think about it or you can be about it and act about it. And this could be part 1 or 2 or 10 or anything amount of it. This is one small drop in it of them building up those resources to at least make a bid at them or to go for one of them or whatever the end all be all result. I don't need to pontificate on that at this point in all of this process, but I just think that this is a sneaky move to start building up a maybe larger trend of them seeing little opportunities here and there to trim, cut, reimburse, build, make this, do that, like some stuff like that maybe we don't in the moment take the time to appreciate that, oh, that's another smart move where they are doing that instead of having to compromise the finished major league product. They're doing this to help us build the longer term product. So we'll keep an eye on it for you, and we'll keep maybe totaling up some hypothetical numbers as to where we are, like a telethon style thing on the side. But I think that this, like I said, is a sneaky good move because These numbers don't do anything for me. We have our lefties in the pen. I'm stoked on where our team is at. And if we can offset this, jettison this to get even a small little teeny piece of the building blocks we need to get Cease King or Cease or just King or one of them or none of them or some of them, or just feel more competitive in the market for them and maybe be able to get ourselves some other thing that we're not knowing of. But like right now, I like this deal. I'm starting to ramble. I apologize. I will stop. I will say thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you guys, and we will talk to you soon.